Wicked, the adaptation of the very popular Broadway musical. Technically, it's part one of the Broadway musical because they split the musical into two movies. So you got Act 1 right now, that's in theaters right now. Then you get a 12-month intermission, and then in 12 months, you have Act 2, you got Wicked Part 2. So it's kind of like theater, set, 20 minutes, a 20-minute intermission, you get 12 months. So, sure, it's more time not to be sure you don't get hit by a bus but until you see Act 2, but, it is what it is. But my experience with Wicked is, this movie is my first experience with the story, at least half of it. I half popped my Wicked cherry with this movie. And I would say this, with all the critics and all the buzz and all the Oscar buzz and best movie of the year, people are calling this and all that kind of stuff, I could see where this is coming from. Because I don't lie, by the end of this movie, I was like, fuck you with the to be continued. I want part 2 now. Or part 2 next week. I want this to be a TV show. I need part 2, I need Act 2, I need part 2 of my veins right now. Technically, I want to know what happens to them. Technically, if I want to know what happens to them, I just need to watch The Wizard of Oz. If you don't know what Wicked is, it is a prequel to The Wizard of Oz, exploring how Glinda the Good Witch became Glinda the Good Witch, and how the Wicked Witch of the West became the Wicked Witch of the West. And it's... I went like, at the beginning, I wasn't a big fan of it. At the first 20 minutes or so, I wasn't really hooking into this film as much because it felt really go-to of this is very cliche how to do a prequel, which is the movie starts literally 30 seconds after the events of The Wizard of Oz. The Wizard of the West is dead, and Oz is, the people of Oz are dancing and singing and they're burning everything and shishing and pissing everything that has a lick of reference to the Wicked Witch of the West. But then Glinda comes along and she's trying to be like, hey, yes, woo, she is dead and all kind of stuff. But there's a little bit of heartache there, and someone says wait, hold on a second, were you not friends with her? Before she went all cuckoo and crazy, were you not friends with her? And then Glinda goes, well, let me tell you let me tell you a story. I just go, really? This is how we're doing this? Could we just start with, the stool and the college and that? Do we really need the epilogue of Wizard of Oz? Do we really need that to lead into the story? My guess it's because it's part of the Broadway, it's part of the stage adaptation. But personally, I would totally cut those moments out. Personally, for me, now I watch part 2, I'm like, okay, now it makes sense. Anyway, the rest of the film, and a couple of songs that wasn't hitting me, like The Wizard of Oz, I was like, okay, that's fine. But then all suddenly, there's a number called What Am I Feeling? And all suddenly, the movie feels to change shifts, and it's going, boom, okay, you're going fast forward. You're going all forward with me right now, and I'm digging everything we got here. Because you think about it, it's quite typical of a story about, okay, you have two characters who are forced to become roommates, college roommates. They don't like each other, or at least they don't want to interact with each other, at least. And they slowly form and have fondness of each other, and then they become friends. And then the friendship just drifts apart and will never be connected ever again until water to their part. Entire story that I feel like, okay, we kind of seen this before. But the musical numbers elevates it and elevates the emotionalness to it. What am I feeling? The number one I'm feeling, and then Dance Through Life with Jonathan Bailey's character is for a Prince Charming type of character. You're like, yep, yeah, I can see it. And Death Real Life, like, he's the, like, the cocky prince, the cocky guy who's like, come on, you're gonna do everything that the store says? Let me show you how to have fun, guys. I'm like, yep, I am totally digging the performance and the numbers and all that's linked to his character. And then it just elevates and elevates and elevates. And then there's a dance between our main two characters. And I'm like, that's when the movie's like, you sold me. Yep, I'm invested. I am invested. This dance, this beautiful dance at a ball between our main two characters. I was like, this is moving. Like, I'm not choking up, but this is quite moving. And I was like, I don't want. Sure, this friendship is now a friendship now, but I really don't want it to end. I don't want someone to turn fucking bad. And it elevates, and once again, it elevates, and the momentum keeps going, rising, and going up and up, and up, and up, and up, and up, and up. And then the last, then the wizard shows up. And no, not that the wizard shows up, the Annual City shows up. And everything goes batshit crazy. Like, we have a amazing musical number, feels like a 10-minute musical number about the world building of this version of Oz, and this version of the story of the wizard and how he came to be and all that. And then the other one, the Wicked Witch of the West becomes the big evil witch as she becomes. But at the end of the day, you find out, it's the classic, you know the truth now, and we need someone to hide the truth. So we'll make you the bad guy now, because it's a good way to do the whole thing of making the good guys the bad guys, the bad guys the good guys. I was like, this is really well put together. I mean, sure, there's some typical prequel stuff this is how she gets the hair, or look, it's the Orchard of the Yellow Brick Road, or look, it's the Flying Monkeys. I mean, let's be honest. You all want to know how the Flying Monkeys came to be. Let's be honest. You want to know. I want to know. So with the Flying Monkeys, you shut up. Because there's talking animals in this. There's a whole story about how there's a new thing about how there's a swim nation, how there's bigotry towards animals, and how they shouldn't talk. Animals should be seen, not heard. Like they're like little children or something, or goats or whatever. So that's, there's a story of that's really engaging and appealing. It's hitting all the right notes, and it's all. Do I recommend? Yes. Now, if you're a person who's not maybe a big fan of musicals, would this be your ship? Is this going to be your okay, this is the exception? No, probably not. No. This wouldn't be the I don't like musicals, but there's Wicked. I don't think this is gonna be it. But I won't lie. The thing is about Wicked and the whole Wizard of Oz thing. If you really think about it, is anyone surprised that they haven't full remade that one? This is a prequel. The last Wizard of Oz thing, which is The Oz Great and Powerful, was a prequel. We're getting prequels and sequels and maybe spin-offs, and how, having characters from Wizard of Oz, having the Wizard of the West shows up in, other shows, Once Upon a Time and that whole thing. But I'm very surprised, Warner Brothers, who owns the original one, the Jerry Garner one. I'm surprised that they never said, fuck it, let's just remake it. As it's a Godfather. The Wizard of Oz is the how dare you touch that film. And here's the thing. This movie is nearly 100 years old. That movie is nearly 100 years old. It's nearly in the public domain aspect of things. So, you never know. But also with Wicked itself, it being a book, it's based on a book as well. I would be shocked that someone is going to adapt it's going to be like Metal War as well. I wouldn't be shocked. It's going to be like Metal where like you're going to get some versions that's based on the musical, but now you're going to have versions that is just an adaptation of the book, which I hear is very messed up and dark and fucked up to the extreme. There's some transformations of people turning into Metal Men and the origins of the Metal Men and the Scarecrows. I hear that. That's in the book, and all that. So there's all that. But yeah, I would highly recommend the film. If you've seen the film, comment below. Let me know your thoughts.